Hey, I'm Michael Vandenham, and today on Training Tips, we're going to talk a little bit about some mountain bike skills. Now, you might be going, this guy's not really a mountain biker, and you're right, mountain biking is my second or maybe even third discipline, but I've picked it up a lot in the last few years. And as someone who came to mountain biking a little bit later, I wish that people had told me to just stick to the fundamentals. So one of those fundamentals that I'm going to talk about today is body position. When I started riding, I spent a lot of time going on Google and searching, how to ride your mountain bike, or what is good body position, or how to turn, or whatever. And frankly, the information out there was completely overwhelming. I'd be on a trail being like, okay, I need to push into my bar and push into my heel and turn my hips and look that way and use my brakes that way and weight this and weight that. And it was like, none of that got done. It was just too much info. So today, I'm going to talk about just focusing on one thing at a time and focusing on the most basic and maybe most important thing in descending on a mountain bike and climbing to a certain extent, and that's having good body position. So the question is then, what is good body position on the bike? So first off, the thing that I always tell myself is keep your chin over your stem. Don't have your body weight way back, don't have your body weight way forward. One of the biggest mistakes that I find myself and see other people making is when you start to brake, you slide your body weight way back, you have your butt way behind the saddle, your chin somewhere over the BB, because that feels like the right thing to do. But what actually happens there is you stop being able to use your front brake. You're transferring so much of the weight back on your bike that you're not in that really good strong position, you're a little bit off balance, and your front tire is not going to grip as much as it can. So for pretty much everything, climbing, descending, think of having that body weight, chin over the stem, body weight so you can kind of bounce the bike equally on the front and rear suspension. All right, so equal balance, chin over the stem. Those are the two things I'm telling myself when I'm going down the trail and find that I'm getting into bad habits. The second thing that I'm always reminding myself is have your arms in a position ready to absorb bumps. You have 150 or 180 or maybe 110 millimeters of travel on the front. You have way more than that built into your body. So if you're riding with your arms locked out, the only suspension that you get is from your bike. If you're riding with your elbows up and you're with your arms with a bend in them, you get so much more travel and you can absorb impact so much more. So chin over the stem, getting those elbows out and wide. And then I think the final thing that I would tell someone is don't go out and think you're just going to practice this on the most challenging trail. Go out and practice this in a situation where the terrain is not a limiting factor. So as you can see, I'm going to go and practice this just down a gravel road. Enduro riders made these really popular. These are cone drills. Can't pretend I'm great at cone drills, but it's a great spot for me to go and work on my body position and just work on cornering with the chin over the stem, with my elbows out wide. Once I feel comfortable with that, I find it super, super beneficial to go and just loop a small, simple section of trail. If you're always on the trail wondering what's coming up next and you don't know the answer, it's hard to focus on some of those fundamentals. So maybe loop a little trail that you know and just focus on one thing at a time. Is my chin over the stem? Yes, okay, that's all you're gonna think about. Don't worry about where you're looking, don't worry about how you're weighting the bars, don't worry about anything else. Those can be layered on later. Just focus on one thing at a time on a simple trail. And when you get comfortable with that, that's when those skills start to become automatic on more challenging trails, right? You don't want to have to think about having good body position when you're on a black diamond. You just want it to happen automatically. So that's the beauty of practicing these on really simple terrain, is it starts to become automatic on more challenging terrain. So there you go. There's a mountain bike training tip from someone who's not that much of a mountain biker, but I hope that was useful. Thanks for joining me.